evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Durty. And as we get closer to the race to one, let's talk about, scheduling quirks and weird things that happen. Every year, every sport, professional or otherwise, has some weird, imbalanced scheduling setup. Not necessarily in terms of the number of away games versus the number of home games, but when those games actually happen. In some cases, they're so mixed up that it seems like one team even they might have a balanced home and away schedule, or traveling a lot more than other teams that might have extended home stays, extended away stays. It's generally what you see in baseball. Quick note, went through a season in International League ball where I played on 3 different teams, and I think over the course of a month and a half, because of how it's scheduled for when the team would pick me up, I think I played 4 home games and 3 for only one of the teams during the whole time. Like, there was one team that I'd never played a home game for. It was all away games. So things like that happen. That's just what it is, right? Well, this season, ATS, SimWorld Atlantis, they have one of those oddities where they only have 1 game remaining for the rest of the season, while other teams, in some cases, have 4 and 5. What does this mean? Now we get into that argument, rest versus rust versus what have you, right? And what it really means on the outside looking in is a coach like Coach Kusa, what he will need to do for the next 2 weeks in order to make sure that his squad is ready for what will be their season finale before the race to one. And this becomes more about mindset than it becomes about physical set. Here's where a team will get tested, because practices, particularly this late in the season, will only get you so far. What's really good is they get a chance to heal. They get a chance to get themselves together to the point where be in their physical top performance level, but what it's going to mean for the mental side of the game. In cases like this, coach may want to bring in some outside hit squad people to come in and play against his guys just to keep their internal flow going, change up the rules, mix up practices. There's all sorts of things that they can do, and I'm sure he's thought of all of them, being a brilliant coach that he is. I am in the hope that this particular stretch of the season with only 1 game, they will take advantage of it, a lot of film work, a lot of scouting work, and then put that into action as they get on the floor. It is without a doubt, probably within the next week, that they will know who their race to 1 primary opponent will be, their first opponent. And I'm sure he's preparing for that, as only great coaches would do. So it'd be good to see. Let's see how he's going to pull that off. It's really going to be interesting. And the other thing about that for them is that in a team that will be so physically ready to play, that mindset is going to tell directly what we're going to see out of the performance, not in the first quarter, but in the first half, when we get down to the race to one. In that very first game, when the energies are so hyped and so on top. Woo, gonna be fun, baby. Gonna be fun. What else you think about the schedule? Rest versus rust. Good thing, bad thing? What do you think? Holla at your boy. Let me know what's up. Before you do anything else, Catch me on the dessert.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hello and welcome back to Talkin Durty with your boy. So let's kind of get into a couple of things we were talking about. What scouts are looking at, what scouts are looking for, and how it plays out in recruiting. And how many stories, how many times have you heard where a recruit went to a particular series or tournament or whatever to look at one player but ended up seeing someone else? Even going back to the stories of LeBron, right? Well, it even goes even before that. My very first scouting trip, not recruiting, but scouting trip, where I was brought in, given a polo, given a clipboard, given a list of names, conversed with the coach before I went. This is what I'm looking for. This is why I'm looking for this. Let me know who you see. Here are some names of some people who are going to be there. This is who we're thinking about. Mostly juniors, mostly seniors, some sophomores. That's about it. It was a jamboree basketball tournament. And from the shoot around, there was one athlete that just jumped out at me like nobody's business. I'm watching athletes shoot. I'm watching them handle the ball at their height, at that age. They were so much more fluid than I would have expected. The athleticism was incredibly off the charts. And what kind of got to me as I looked and I realized who I was looking at was that this athlete was a freshman. Now, I am open to say, and one day I'll talk about my open hits and misses when it came down to helping WNBA teams out in recruiting for drafts and stuff like that. But in this particular case, looking at high school athletes that were being thought about before they sent out the real recruiting power from the colleges, particularly this particular college that I ended up not even working for. This is how far ahead that they were looking. Because the coach actually told me, if you see a freshman that you like, let's talk about it. We can't talk to them, but we can at least talk about it here. Cool. This athlete handled the basketball like a volleyball. That's what it looked like in their hands. Their ability to move in the post as well as away from the post, their ability to bring the ball up, it was incredibly fluid. And in appreciation of that fluidity, because of some of my favorite players, I ended up taking more notes about this athlete than I did about anyone else, including making a comment of how they were going to surpass any expectations, not only at the next level, but at the professional level, should they decide to play professional ball. And this is a case of like the Rainmaker. When you get one right, you get it right. It's right for real. Well, this was one of mine. The athlete that I was looking at, the athlete that really blew me away, and even toward the last days of them in the league, what they're able to do in their knowledge for the game, was Candace Parker as a freshman. 1 year later, she makes national news, 2-time state champion, leading her team at the young age. Everybody gives the attention to her that she so well deserved. But for this young, at the time, young scout looking at the game, seeing what I saw, apparently I was not the only one. And one of the things that even to this day that I have a conversation with that particular coach about, even though she's moved on many colleges later in the whole nine and she's of note, she talks about how a part of her wish she would have taken me a little more seriously when I talked about Candace Parker back in the day. Now, she didn't have a shot at Candace Parker, to be honest with you, with the program she was at, but it's still kind of a funny thing between us. What scouts look at and what they see doesn't just happen because of the stats you put out on the floor or during a game. How you prep for that game, the work you do, how you move, and then how it translates. So understand something. If you are seriously intent on being at that next level, take your game serious enough where you want to shine at every given moment and show that focus. Whatever that focus you need for that move, that play, you show that, because that's how you're going to be taken seriously. You know what's up. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about. We're going to get into some more stories. We're going to have some more fun. You know, always love your feedback. Always love to know what you guys think about everything, because that's just how this ship's works, right? Cool. You know what the deal is. Never, ever let Jason Wick come in your house at Thanksgiving.
Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.